Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has given us unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure or admire an old one. What will we find today? Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
In Bible Study Fellowship last year, we studied Kings, Chronicles, and many of the prophets. Most of the things those prophets had to tell the Israelites were really hard stuff to say, to receive, and even to read thousands of years later. But that's how it is when you're a child of God. If we're disobedient, He's not going to just let us go our own way and do what we want to do. God is not going to send us encouraging messages. Every time we go to church or open our Bible or visit with a Christian friend the Lord sends our way, God will most likely use those times to warn us and try to draw us back to Him. That's called conviction. But the prophets in our passage today in Acts 15 are not confronting people with their sin. They're bringing encouragement and strengthening words from the church in Jerusalem. The Antioch church had sent Paul and Barnabas to Jerusalem with a question that needed an authoritative answer. Do Gentiles need to be circumcised and keep the Jewish law in order to be followers of Christ? The Jerusalem council sent back a letter with their answer. No. They also sent two of their own, Judas Barsabbas and Silas, to deliver the letter and corroborate its message. The Antioch church gathered together to hear the verdict and received it with rejoicing. What an encouragement that letter and those two brothers were. Think about your own personal correspondence. Are you an encourager? Often an email, a text, or a call can be the highlight of someone's day, and it only costs us a few minutes at the most. Do you know someone in need of encouragement today? If you're sitting in a waiting room or have a few extra minutes, maybe you could pray through your contacts and send a little message of encouragement to someone God leads you to. Not only the letter encouraged the Antioch church, but Judas and Silas were also encouragers. Acts 15:32 says that they were prophets. Now, we usually think of prophets as one who foretells the future, but a prophet is really just a mouthpiece of God. Prophets say what God puts in their mouth to say. Both Old Testament and New Testament prophets just delivered the word God sent to them. Often in the Old Testament, that word was a warning of what would happen if they didn't turn things around and obey. In Acts 15, God wanted to encourage the Antioch church, so He sent prophets Judas and Silas to tell them, "You're on the right track, keep going." The account says they exhorted and strengthened the brethren with many words. Then Judas returned to Jerusalem. But God led Silas to stick around and eventually accompany Paul on his second missionary journey. Has God ever used a Christian friend to tell you that you're on the right track? If a prophet were sitting next to you right now, would he or she tell you that you're right where you're supposed to be, or that you've strayed off the path a bit? In my kids' homeschool Christian history book, it discussed the word progress. Progress is not necessarily continuing to go forward. If you're on the wrong path, continuing to go forward actually moves you farther away from your goal, no matter how fast you're going. If you're on a plane headed for Miami and your goal is Seattle, you are not making progress. Actually, progress would be getting closer to your goal. If your goal in general is to be more like Christ, are you on the right path? What other goals have God led you to set? Perhaps it's as simple as getting your house clean, witnessing to a friend, or building a certain relationship. Or more complicated, like saving money for a mission trip, or a career goal you need to prepare for. Are you on the right track? How about spiritually? Are there some character flaws God's been working on? How are you progressing?
You can contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. We'd love to hear the treasures God has given you through His Word. You can listen to other episodes at our website, which you can find in the description below. Thanks for listening, and remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.